Congratulations, you have officially become a university graduate. 4 or 5 years of scholastic and academic work have finally come to an end. Your friends could not be happier, your classmates could not be more jolly, some of which you were kind enough to help by leaking the tests from the other sections. Yes, Bousouidan, I am speaking to you, but that's a story for another day. Your parents could not be more proud of the person you've become. You are the epitome of young adult success. You are at the climax. But then the grim reality hits. You come to the realization that graduating comes with a bonus. You officially become unemployed. My name is Amr Imam, 24 years of age. I am a physics graduate from the United Arab Emirates University and a Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed scholar, and currently employed as a research assistant at New York University, Abu Dhabi in the Division of Science. And the purpose of this video is to present you with a compilation of some sorts that accumulates all of the advice that I have managed to accumulate throughout the years, whether it be through my own experience or through the advice that I was fortunate enough to gather from professionals that have been working for years, or through leadership programs that, again, I was fortunate enough to participate in. Let's go. Another bonus that comes along with calling yourself a graduate, unless of course you are a UAE student, then you start calling yourself a graduate after the second semester. UAE people, you know what I'm talking about, is the fear that you attain due to the great disparity between what the market, what the job market asks for and what you have. You were not trained for this. You were trained to find the y-intercept and the slope of a line. In some other cases, you were supposed to be trained to solve Schrodinger's equation, but hey, we never got there. But we live and move on. Now, what we really need to focus on as graduates is try to bridge the gap between what we are and what the employer wants. I hope you guys don't think that this light on and light off thing is a cool transition. It's just my bootleg version of an actual proper transition for a video, but I'm just too lazy to perform one. So please bear with me. Now, in an effort to gap this bridge or disparity between your current skill set and what the employer asks for, you need a bunch of things. First of all, we need to get technical, right? You have multiple ways and methods for you to try to minimize that gap, whether it be throughout your study career or after you've graduated. I'm going to focus on what you can do after you've graduated in case you can't go back in time. I might make another video for what you can do during your studies, but after you've graduated, you could take, for instance, online courses that focus on a particular pertinent skill, something that is relevant to what you need to get into. It could be programming, for example. It could be a way to improve and develop your language, whatever that may be, Arabic or English, or maybe it's Russian. It could be the ability to speak publicly. Now you could do that through an online course, or you could participate in clubs that specialize in things like that, Toastmasters, for example, or you could join a university club if you still have the ability to do so. Another very, very important thing that you can do to increase your skill set so that it matches what the employer requires is an internship. For me, this is the epitome of what you can perform to get as close as possible to what the employer needs. Because an internship, despite it being something that is normally unpaid in the UAE, but it is something that is giving you the experience that you would otherwise need to perform a certain job. And when an employer looks at an individual that took the initiative to take an internship, perhaps one more than what was mandatory from him during his academic studies, they would appreciate that, and for more than one reason. One, that person probably has better skills than someone who took only one internship, as well as the fact that this individual has shown initiative. He wants to learn more and more, and he doesn't mind investing his time in himself, even if he's not getting money out of it. Very often do we forget that it is not only the technical skills that we need to be working on. We need to be able to communicate ourselves effectively. And what that means is that you need to be able to tell your story, whether it be through your CV, through your interview, through your initial interaction with a potential employer. If you are someone that is competent, but you're unable to communicate that competence over to someone else that is a potential employer, why would they care about what you have to offer? Why would they consider you? Because you're not giving them what they want to hear. And an important thing that we need to realize, and maybe this is something that could be uncommon in our Arabic culture, is that it's okay and should be completely acceptable to be strong, confident, and assertive in the way that you present yourself, as long as you're not arrogant. Very often do we conflate confidence with arrogance, that this person is, here trying to show himself off and whatnot. But in reality, when it comes to an interview and an employer, this is when you need to be showing off your skills. Of course, again, I repeat, while not being arrogant. But if you are going to an interview or a potential employer and you're all curled up and shy, and he asks you, what are you great at? And you're like, oh, I can't speak about myself. Well, this is not a way to get a job. This is not the way to buy that person over. Perhaps if you're trying to get married and you want to impress the lady's parents, maybe you'll be shy and, so that they can call you polite and, da matrabbi. Like when it comes to an interviewer, no one cares. I want to hear about what you have to offer to me and my company so that I can invite you to join my project and help me do something better. In an effort to communicate effectively pursuant to that task and end, you need to get a LinkedIn profile right now. I mean, you could continue watching the video first, but right after, you need to promise me that you're going to get a LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn is essentially Facebook for the professional world. It's a place where you can keep track of everything you've done. You can connect with people that are in the same profession and field that you would like to be in or you're already in. You could get some professional advice from many, many people. And the most important thing is that you can easily get jobs from there. Most of the time, the way that we apply for jobs now is through the internet. You just Google, whatever, let's say research assistant, physics department, Khalifa University. And then you see a bunch of openings and then you apply on whatever portal where thousands and thousands of people have already applied. You need to realize that recruiters and HR personnel that are making the decision about hiring people do not take more than 10 seconds looking at your CV. How crazy is that? And in that case, you need to stand out. You need to do something different. And the way to do that is LinkedIn. What you can do is, once you've constructed a well-organized profile that is hopefully packed with as many experiences and skills as you can that are relevant and truthful, you can go and search for the company's name on LinkedIn, all right? And then you go to the tab that has the people working in that company, and then you search for either recruiter, the term recruiter, or HR. And what you then do is request a connection with a nice message, trying to, start a conversation with that individual. Maybe ask them a relevant question about the opportunity, something that was not mentioned on the listing, and start and get some dialogue going on. And what you've done here is that, apart from everyone else that applied on that online portal, you have managed to form a relationship. Despite how fundamental and trivial it might be in your view, but your name came across in a different manner than everyone else because you strike a conversation with the person that's, doing or making that decision. No one else in that applicant pool was able to do that, but you did. So, therefore, please, after this video is over, go to LinkedIn, and you can put it down in the comments below, and if you do, I will personally connect with you. I don't know why you would want to do such a thing, but I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you have over there. Another thing that is drastically important is the mentality that you hold while attempting to get that job opportunity. Very often as graduates, we think of ourselves as worthless, if we're going to be honest. You are someone that just graduated with no experience whatsoever, and you ask yourself, how in the world am I going to compete with people that have already been in my field for years and years, and, I'm over here worth nothing? Well, if you think that way, then it's quite unlikely that you will get the job, unless, of course, you have some sort of intermediary, wasla, which I do not recommend and I do not condone. And if you do that, you should be ashamed of yourself, and you should look for better ways to attain something that is rightful and just for your skill set. But that to the side for a moment, you need to start thinking about what you're capable of. And if you genuinely think that you're not capable of anything, then work on yourself. You should not go into an interview with a submissive, for the lack of a better word, mentality when it comes to the employer and you and your dynamic. Because like in any other life situation, if someone is begging you for an opportunity, if someone is begging you for a job or whatever task someone might need of you, it is not as appealing and alluring as someone that invites you to offer them something without you asking. Meaning that your aim when you go into an interview or in whatever interaction with a potential employer, you need to, again, communicate yourself. Do not be on the begging side, because despite you perhaps being competent, that is a big turnoff for someone that is trying to hire a competent individual. Because what they're thinking of is, if this individual is truly competent in the way that she says, in the way that she wrote on her CV, then why is she begging? Why in the world is she begging for this opportunity? Whether that be something that you meant to do or did not, or whether the employer is thinking of this actively or passively, it happens regardless. You cannot be on the begging, submissive side when you're in an interview. You need to be confident, be aware of what you have in your CV, be aware of what you're confident and competent in, and just talk about what you can do and tell them why you should be in this job. And again, despite me constantly reminding you guys of not being submissive, you also need to not be arrogant, because that is perhaps a bigger turnoff than being submissive and begging. I was going to do another section about CVs, but I don't think we have enough time. So if you would like me to talk a bit about CVs and how they should be constructed, please let me know in the comments below or on any of our social media outlets, which will be somewhere around here if I'm able to edit that in. Yes, I am very incompetent when it comes to video editing. And let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you have any questions, please reach out. I'll be more than happy to answer as much as I can. And if there are any recruiters or HR personnel watching this video, please, please, please correct me if I'm wrong. And also, if you have any other tips that you think I missed, please, please do mention them down below. Adios.